Hello, welcome to another tonalist landscape oil painting demonstration. This is your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy. And the painting I'm bringing you today is called Lone Tree. It's a 3.5 by 5. And I painted this back in January. You're going, what, January? Well, let's tell you what happened. The last couple weeks, I have done some really nice seascapes. One I'm really stoked about. Unfortunately, the whole video part of the process fell apart on one, and then the next one, and everything's exacerbated by the fact that I have one that the video process didn't fall apart on, but I messed up on it, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about on this video here. As you watch, if you want a few tips. So, I've been painting pretty much full time for like 13 years now. Yeah, and you get better, you know. And with that comes less bad paintings, less mistakes, more of an ability to spot things that aren't going to work and not do them. Um, but this painting I did, went in last Saturday to finish it, and I won't. When I put that video up, I'll talk more about it. But um, yeah, it had an aspect of it that was just wrong, and I intuitively knew it was wrong, but I tried to make it work. And this is the interesting thing about painting is like it's hard to do. First of all, I always tell my local students and you guys out there in YouTube land. Painting's not easy to do. It's one of the harder things that you could go after. And a lot of people might go, well, then why bother since it's going to be hard. I don't want that. I don't want something hard to do. Well, that is a good question. It's a really good question. Yeah. Basically, my answer to that would be just go after some other activity because it is hard to do, but it's really rewarding and super fun as well. And there's lots of things that are not easy to do that people do. Things that I would find impossible, like hunting with a bow and arrow or things like that. Anyway, um, there's a lot of ways to go wrong. You got composition. That's the really the number one way. There could be even if you kind of got your composition together, there could be elements or things about the scene that shouldn't be there and won't make a good painting. And how do you know what those are? Unfortunately, the only way to really get to that is either have access to a teacher locally who can point these things out, but they won't be there with you for every painting, or just do it and be honest with yourself and um, realize when things aren't working and that they're not going to work. And then you have several choices. Uh, you can either you obviously going to need to reevaluate, but you can just bail on the whole thing. That's not a problem really, because the one thing I would always point out to people starting out is that you've got to do these bad paintings. You've got to do these things that aren't great. Well, and people used to understand this and realize this in the old days of our society. People realized that good things didn't come easy, and they didn't expect instantly great results. This is something that's come about in painting with the advent of modern art and so many things that are just kind of lame being regarded as awesome, or things that actually are pretty cool that are just either accidental or the artist is hiding the amount of drawing and hard work that they've actually done when they present themselves as somebody working purely on inspiration. Inspiration's great, inspiration's important, but it needs to be laid on the foundation of industry. Yeah. a daily practice, really. So if you want to get good at painting, you've got to engage in a daily practice. And that's where, like this little 3.5 by 5, I did this a while back, and it's a nice little painting. It took me, oh, you can check this out in the members area. You've got, you can have a gander at the reference image. And also it looks like there's a pretty long color mixing session there. And that's one thing. That's another place you can go south. Is your colors on? Your colors flat. Your colors weird. You don't know what colors to mix. You don't know what's going to work. And my advice there has always been the same. Start with a very basic, limited palette, like let's see, cad yellow, alizarin crimson, black, white. Pick a blue, you know, or you can swap that crimson out for cad red. That'll be a completely different sort of palette. Start with that. And the colors I would add in pretty rapidly would be like a burnt sienna, yellow ochre. For landscape painting, for other types of painting, you may want to go with other colors. I don't think the blue is that critical, to be honest. Oh, hey, we got an ad for my book coming up, and we've been shipping them out, and they're going all over the planet, which is really gratifying because I worked hard on this book, and most everything I know about landscape painting, at least up to the point I wrote the book, is in there. I have learned a few things since, and I'm definitely formulating and thinking of another book. But the book costs $60 US. That's a little steep, I know it, but that's because the international shipping is included. And actually, to be honest with you, which I always am, international shipping is actually costing me more than the printing. Yeah, and the printing wasn't cheap, and the sort of runs that I have to do, being just a little guy printing up his own book. But it's great sending it out, and I would love to send one to you. So yeah, go ahead and order that. Also, you know, there's lots of ways to support this channel. A comment is great. If you have any financial resources, go buy a painting from my store. I know you're probably a painter, you have lots of paintings, but you don't have an M. Francis original. That is going to be a hot little item at some point. Yeah. Or just give me a donation. Give me some money. Or just watch the videos. It's all good. I appreciate you being here and taking the time. I appreciate you got lots of different options. Yeah. Um, anyway, getting back into you know, the theme of today's video, which is failing all the time, how hard it is. This is my remedy for that, and I've said it before, but we're always getting new people here, and even if you've been here a while, it's good to hear this message, and that is, if you have a daily practice, it's your best defense against failure, because you're going to have some that are completely awesome, and you'll do things that are way ahead of your current skill level. At times, that's how it'll go. And you go, hey man, I'm finally on it. I'm finally breaking through. I'm finally getting it. And then you'll find your next painting is like pretty much back where you were, except you had a high water mark. Well, I think God or the universe gives us those, just so we know where we're headed. You know, don't get hung up on it. Don't think, yeah, that is the ultimate breakthrough. It's probably not. But keep it. Don't sell it. You know, hold on to it. And no, in my case, I had a painting like that back in like 2011, and it's still hanging above my TV here in my house. Um, it's still a great painting. It's still really up there. But when I did it, it was surrounded by a lot of work that just wasn't as good. Okay, and you can be disheartened by that, but really what you need to do is fall more in love with the process than with the result, and also take to heart this thing that why would you be an amazingly great painter if you've only done, I don't know, 5 paintings, 50 paintings, 100 paintings, 200 paintings? I don't know the number that you need to do before you're doing consistently awesome work, but I do consistently pretty awesome work, and I just tanked this week. I'm able to save it. I'm going to be saving it though, and that is because We got just a little time left in this video. The reason I'm going to be able to save it is because I don't lie to myself. Although it's tough, I mean, I was right there on the cusp. I was saying, no, I think it's okay. I think this particular element's okay. I think it'll be all right. But I knew it wasn't, and to the point where I even sort of had a dream about it and how to fix it, which is not that common for me. But and then I went in the studio, and sometimes I do flip a coin. Should I fix this painting? Yes, it came up, and I just started scraping away the offending parts and retooling. And the thing was, like, there were parts of the painting that were painted very nicely, very masterfully. I was very proud of. Um, but they're all going to get brought down by that part that isn't painted well, or that isn't right. Yeah, like I said at the beginning of the video, painting's tough, painting's hard, but it's a great way to spend time. And isn't it great that it is that? It is a bit difficult, you know. And the other thing that's great is when it turns out well, it's there it is. It's just sitting there for hopefully all time. It won't be all time. Nothing material lasts forever, but for me, it's always been one of the big attractions to painting is that um, people will treasure them, people will hold on to them, people will give an original painting some extra evaluation in their minds because we know it's one of a kind. There is you can make a take a photo, make a print. These days, they even can do this 3D imagery or imaging where they can make a print that actually has dimensions in it. That's not a cheap process, but it is possible. But it'll still be a reproduction of something that's essentially one of a kind and unique, and not redoable, not replaceable. Trust me, if you think that's the case, go ahead and go ahead and take a stab at duplicating painting you even did yesterday. And I guarantee you, the further back it was that you did it, the harder it will be to duplicate. It's almost impossible. Yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. Sorry, it's a little rambly, but they all are, and I hope you're used to that. But keep in mind that, oh, this is real time, this whole section here. Keep in mind that the real reason I like to put these up is just so you can see a painting getting put together, going from a board up to a beautiful finished result. So until I come back with another video for your edification, enjoyment, and education, I hope. Take good care, stay out of trouble. Leave me a comment, leave me a like, support this channel any way you can if you're getting some value here. I would really appreciate it since this is what I do, and I'd like to keep doing it. So until we get back, take good care, stay out of trouble, and God bless you and your family.